Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Now today I'm reviewing a product that the manufacturer sent to me for review. I do need to send it back after I finish with it, but they've sent it to me. There's no money transferred hands and they won't have any input on what I say about the product. And in the actual fact, I'm so impressed with it, I went and bought one. So there we go. So I'm actually reviewing it, but I'm using it as well. I'm using it with my Fujifilm X-H2 and it's getting the audio for this particular video. And what we're looking at is the Tascam CAXLR2d, and I've got the Fuji version, so it's -F. They do one for the Canon mirrorless system, and they do an analog one. So there's 3 different versions. It's basically the same body, the same unit, but what they've done, they've changed the shoe, so you can actually buy the shoe separately. So I think that is phenomenal. I mean, if you bought, let's say you bought the Fuji system, which is what I have, this has got the Fuji mount or the Fuji hot shoe fitted to it. So basically it's got all the pin configurations on this shoe. So when you put it on the camera, so for example, my Fujifilm X-H2 I've got here, when I put it on the camera, you don't need to use cables to transmit the power and the audio to the camera. It's automatically transmitted through the shoe. And I think that is phenomenal. I know Panasonic do one for their cameras and Sony do one for their cameras. But the excellent thing with this particular unit is actually multi-purpose. So you can use it with your Fuji. So if you're already using Fuji system, buy it with the Fuji shoe, and then if later on you invest in Canon or you have already got Canon, just buy the Canon shoe. You don't need to buy another adapter, just buy the shoe. Take this shoe off, you just unscrew it, take the shoe off, put the Canon one on, and away you go. I think that is a tremendous idea. So it comes with the cable, so you can actually use it with any camera. So I think that is great. So you might again initially buy it for your Fujis, but then decide you want to use it with a Panasonic camera, or you want to use it with, you know, any other brand. All you do, you plug the cable into the back of the unit. On the back there, it's got a connection there for output into either headphones or a camera. So you can just plug it into there, and then that'll go straight out to your camera. So I mean, that is a great idea. Very, very flexible. But what this unit provides is the ability to use professional gun microphones, professional XLR microphones, whatever type of microphones you want to use with it. It's got your 2 XLR inputs on the side here, channel 1 and channel 2. So obviously that'll feed 2 separate signals into the camera, so you can record left and right channels. So if you're interviewing 2 people, you can plug your 2 microphones in and then balance the levels when you do your editing. I think that's great. If you're just running 1 microphone, now I'm using one exactly the same unit on my Fuji X-H2. I've got 1 XLR microphone going into it, which is my, I've got the, what have I got? The Sennheiser MKE 600. That's going into it. But I've got, there's a switch on the side here where all the switches are. Now that looks really complicated because there's loads of controls there. It actually isn't complicated at all because it's channel 1 and channel 2 has got exactly the same settings. So all they've done is duplicated the settings for channel 1 and channel 2. And I really like the fact that it is duplicated because you can have them separated. So you could have, say, a low cut filter on channel 1, but you don't need it on channel 2. Or you might be using a microphone which requires phantom power on channel 1, but you don't need phantom power on channel 2 because it has got a switch for your phantom power. It's got a switch for your noise level, so you can turn your dB down if it's, you know, a bit too high. It's got your filter setting, so you can have your low cut filter, 2 different positions for your low cut filter. You got auto or manual. So again, you could switch, say, channel 1 to auto and channel 2 to manual if you wanted to do that. And it's got your limiter switch, so you can turn the limiter on or off. Basically all the limiter does is stops it from clipping. So I think that's great. But again, you can apply it to channel 1 or channel 2, or you can apply it to both channels. And you've got your manual audio controls here for channel 1 and your manual level settings for channel 2. And again, manual control is really handy, because if you are doing an interview situation, it's almost certainly that one of the person you're interviewing is going to be speaking softer than what the other person is. So you can independently set these levels here, and they will be recorded separately onto the camera as well. You've got a switch here which switches between input 1 and 2, if you're actually running 2 microphones into it, or the 3.5mm jack input, because it can take a 3.5mm microphone. There's a jack on the side there, 3.5mm jack. Now you can either plug into that a wireless microphone, like I'm running my DJI mic, or you could run any other form of microphone, lavalier microphone, into there. But just be aware though that you can't mix the signals. It's either the line 3 or the XLRs. It's either or. You can't mix between the two. But there's a good workaround for that. And I'm using it today, and I think it's phenomenal. I love it. I'm going to explain that in a minute. And it has got the flap to protect the settings, so they don't accidentally get knocked when you're filming. So very versatile, very flexible, plenty of controls there for your audio, for your XLR inputs. The preamps in this is excellent, as you would expect. It's a Tascam product. Tascam and TAC have been around for a long time. They know what they're doing when it comes to manufacturing audio gear. I'm still using the TAC X3 open reel tape recorder. I use it for audio tape transfers, and that dates back to the 70s. So yeah, very excellent product from a manufacturer that understands audio. They know what they're doing. And as I say, it's great that a shoe which transmits all this information is actually adaptable for either Canon or Fuji. Now, with my Fuji X-H2, as I say, just put it on. There is on Tascam's website a list of compatible cameras, but it isn't up to date, because I noticed the XS20 isn't on that list. So it's worth double checking. If your camera isn't listed on the list, don't assume that it won't work with it. It's worth checking with Tascam if it will actually work with that particular camera. It works beautiful with the XS20, no issues with it whatsoever. So once that's on there, there's no need for any cables whatsoever, because it transmits the power and the audio signal, digitally audio signals transmitted to the camera. And I think that is really nice. Let's just put it into video mode, and we'll see on the monitor, you'll see 4 audio levels. So they're in pairs. So you see the pair, which is the camera signal. So, and then the other pair is from the XLR adapter. Now, obviously, I've got no mic plugged into this XLR adapter, so the needles won't be moving. There's nothing plugged into it. But this is an incredible system, because what it's doing is recording 4 audio tracks. And I think that is incredible. So it's recording the 2 audio tracks that are coming from the XLR adapter, whether that be the XLR microphones or whether it be the 3.45mm jack input, whatever. But it's also recording the audio from the camera. So when you come to edit it, you have 4 channels of audio. And you see here on this timeline here, I've got something I done yesterday just to test it. So channels 1 and 2 are the XLR, the audio levels you can see here are the audio levels coming from the XLR adapter, and channels 3 and 4 is the microphone levels in the camera. But what I've discovered, and I love it, I mean it's fantastic, I've discovered if you plug a microphone into the 3.5mm jack of the camera, then it records that on channels 3 and 4, not the built-in microphones from the camera. So I've got my what I'm running here, I've got my DJI mic plugged into my Fuji X-H2, which is we've got here, and I've got me Sennheiser MKE 600 plugged into the XLR adapter, and it's recording both. So I'm getting the master track, which will be my Sennheiser MKE 600, because that's got a deep, lovely deep sound to it. But I'm getting the backup on my DJI microphone. Now you imagine a scenario where you might be filming 4 people. So you can use your 2 XLR microphones going into the XLR adapter. And because the DJI mic has 2 transmitters, you can use those 2 microphones for the other 2 people. So in effect, you've got 4 microphones running. It does take its power from the camera. It's being transmitted through the shoe. So if you're using the Fuji shoe, that'll transmit the power and the audio straight through the shoe. You can see it's receiving the power by the little amber light on the side there. It does come with a battery adapter, so if you're using the cold shoe mount, which it comes with, you might be using it, as I said earlier, on a Panasonic camera or Olympus or something like that. It does come with a battery adapter. It's very simple. You just take that off, and it's a little simple little adapter. Takes little AA batteries in there, and then you just slot that under the unit. That is ever so easy to do. Just take off this little flap. Sorry, let's just take off this flap here. That comes off, and then you can see there's pins there, and all you simply do is push that into there. Do that right so you can see what I'm doing. Push that into there, and then you've got there the battery adapter fitted to be able to use AA batteries. If you're using this with a camera that doesn't enable the true connection, most Fujis do. Certainly the most recent Fujis will work with it. I'm using it with my Fujifilm X-H2, working a treat. I've used it with my Fujifilm X-T50, works a treat on that, and also as you can see, it works beautiful on the XS20 and many other Fuji cameras as well, the X-H2, the XS10 and many of the others, and the same would apply with Canon. But I don't know about the other manufacturers. They only make it at the moment with adapters for Canon and for Fuji. Hopefully there's going to be more adapters coming out for the likes of Sony, Olympus and whoever. That would be fantastic. But as I said earlier, I love the fact that you can buy one unit and then buy the shoes separately, because you can buy these separately. So you can buy the shoes separately for either your Canon or your Fuji or your analog, although you don't need to with the analog, because it does come with this analog shoe. Just take that off, and you've got there a shoe there, cold shoe basically, and then you just use the 3.5mm lead to output to your camera. So yeah, great piece of kit, very flexible. Great audio quality because of the preamps in it are fantastic. Compact. It has got the it has got the microphone adapter. Again, you can take that off if you don't want to use the microphone actually on the unit. I've got here an NTG1 that will slot in there quite nicely, and then the XLR lead, a short XLR lead. I would normally put it into channel 1, because if you've got one microphone and it's going into channel 1, what I didn't say earlier, you can split that feed by one of the switches on the side here. You can split that feed across both channels. So the camera will record it to channel 1 and channel 2 with just one microphone. So I think that's, again, a very useful feature. I know most XLR adapters do that, but that is a very useful feature. And you can see on this battery adapter now that it's on, you've got your on-off switch, and then you've got the type of battery you're using, whether it be lithium, nickel metal hydride or alkaline batteries. You just switch that according to what batteries that you're using. Got a cold shoe on the top. Again, I'm finding that very useful on my Fuji X-H2, because I've got my DJI mic in the cold shoe on the top with a 3.5mm jack going out into the camera. So I've got both sets of audio, and I think that is really, really handy. Obviously, you could use that cold shoe for putting a light on, another microphone. If you're running 2 microphones, you might want to do that. Very, very useful. Beautifully made, very, very well made. Has got a little cable thing there for plugging your cable in so they're not flapping around. and you've got your, let's say your input 3 there for your lavalier mic or wireless microphone, and then that's it. There's connections on the back for output to headphones or the camera. Now again, that's really handy. It's got a headphone jack. Now it's either headphone or out to your camera, but if you're using cameras that don't have a headphone jack, that's great. Tremendous piece of kit, really brilliant piece of kit. So there we go. That's the Tascam CAXLR2d adapter. I would like to thank Tascam. They sent it out to me really quickly. I was really impressed with their service. Absolutely fabulous. Really pleased with that. And I'd like to thank them for sending it to me. Well, I say I had bought one because I was so impressed with it. So there we go. Thanks very much. I will leave links in the description where you can buy it from. Some information, the Tascam's website, so you can get further information, and the list of compatible cameras. But just bear in mind that list isn't up to date. I found that, as I say, because my XS20 isn't on the list. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you found this video useful. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Hit the like button if you like the content of my videos. We'd really appreciate that. It does help me grow the channel. Thanks very much. Cheers for now. Bye.